Iraqi Kurdistan has been back in the news as tensions between Kurdish forces and the Iraqi army have grown following the region's landmark referendum on independence last month. This week saw Iraqi army units seize positions in the contested oil-rich city of Kirkuk from Kurdish Peshmerga soldiers. The region is no stranger to conflict, from attacks by the forces of former Iraqi President Saddam Hussein back in the 1980s to the more recent battles with the so-called Islamic State. Whilst many photographers have tended to focus on the war and the refugee crisis, street photographer Saman Ali has chosen to capture the details of everyday life in Suleimani, the second largest city in northern Iraq. His photos are of mothers and children sitting on the steps of their houses, or young men on their mobile phones. As he told our reporter Sahang Hars, life in Iraqi Kurdistan isn't only about war and destruction.
In my opinion, in the war zone, the ugliest things take place, which are destruction and death. Meanwhile, in the cities, the most beautiful things take place, which are construction and life. I capture life. I capture people when they are facing life and it is challenges. Because street photography is not about location. It's about life, and it is about discovering the unordinary within ordinary.
This photo shows a large sack on the back of a man, but we don't see anything except for two hands, and everything else is dark. The content of the sack is almost visible in the photo. And a lot of your photos show people working, especially in the old bazaar in Suleimani, where carrying large items is common. What do you find interesting there?
Well, I constantly think of those who are performing hard labor. Those people sell their body strength to make a living. The man was transforming a huge load into a shop. With every single load, I was catching a glimpse of his life. With every load being put inside the dark shop, he was getting a step closer toward a darker future. Because in my country, there is no life insurance and no retirement plan, especially for those who work in private sector.
So don't you get bored going back to the same old places? For example, if you look at this photo, which shows a woman carrying a carton box, hands-free, and she's staring directly at the camera, and the busy background showing men, children, cars, and buildings.
Well, I certainly don't get bored. I try to write history using my camera. The streets of my city are filled with suddenness, movement, light and shadows. You never know what might happen 10 steps ahead. This is why I always have my camera with me and ready to shoot.
This last photo shows a little girl in the foreground eating a lollipop, smiling. On the left side in the photo, a woman and two other kids are sitting on the stairs in front of their house. If we look closer, we see that she doesn't have a foot. She's missing a leg. I love this photo because it's happy and sad at the same time.
The mother, just like any other mom, is watching over her children. They are playing outside because they have no yard in the house to play. This view attracted me. These children, similar to other children around the world, they would love to wear beautiful clothes, play with beautiful toys, but they are not fortunate enough to have all this. The only thing I felt I could do in that moment was taking their photo. Maybe I could put a smile on their faces later when I show them the picture. I always have my camera with me and try to tell the story of those exhausted people and make it a huge part of my photography hobby. I want to be the voice of the voiceless because those people are my inspiration. I want to dedicate the last years of my life telling the story of my people through my camera.
Our reporter Sahang Hars talking to photographer Saman Ali.